Hey, everybody. Welcome to this special webinar titled Prime Day Maxing. Are you cooking or is it trash? And I will intro Chris here, but Chris is the genius behind this great name. We all agreed offline that we were like thinking of titles. This is perfect for that. So, thank you so much for joining us today to talk about Prime Day. It can be one of the biggest sales opportunities of the year for CPG brands and one of the biggest affiliate opportunities for creators. But success depends on more than just showing up with a discount. Today, we're joined by Chris Moe, Susie Bulloch, and Carol Ortenberg. We'll be breaking down our conversation into three parts, focusing on what you should be doing before, during, and after Prime Day to succeed, scale, and ultimately make money. But before we dive in, let's officially meet our panelists. So, as I mentioned, we have Chris Moe here. Chris is the founder and CEO of Cartograph, a leading Amazon agency focused on CPG brands, food and beverage, beauty, supplements, and pet. They've helped hundreds of brands grow, including AG1, Olipop, Rouse, and Justin's. Cartograph manages over 700 million in GMV across 100 plus brand partners, supporting advertising, operations, creative, and P&L management. In 2026, Cartograph was acquired by Harvest Group, a leading retail broker. Chris continues to lead the business as part of this next phase. So, welcome, Chris.
Thank you. Really excited to be here.
Next, we have Susie Bulloch, longtime dear friend of mine. Susie created Hey Girl Hey as a food blog in 2015. She has since launched a line of award winning barbecue sauces, seasonings, and accessories that seeks to serve her dedicated online audience of backyard BBQ enthusiasts. In addition to the Hey Girl Hey brand, Susie and her husband Todd run Patio Provisions, a distribution and 3PL company helping online food creators navigate the world of CPG. Welcome, Susie.
Hi.
And then Carol is an experienced strategist, community builder, editor, and writer with a deep understanding of the food and beverage industry. As the editor of Nosh, a leading food business publication, she established herself as a trusted voice and highly regarded resource for the natural, organic, sustainable, and healthy food sector. She is passionate about discovering, analyzing, and sharing the latest trends, innovations, and insights in the CPG space, as well as connecting and engaging with industry stakeholders and experts. So, welcome, Carol.
Hi,
Um,
thank you.
you guys are just a dynamite panel here. Like I said, I have the pleasure of working with Susie and Carol through Tastemaker. My name's Abby Rodriguez. I'm the CEO and founder of Tastemaker. We are a platform that is advocating and educating, providing community for food creators. But we have started these conversations in these webinars to be the bridge between creators and brands, and we have a really interesting position for us and our audience to have these conversations. So super excited to be talking about the nitty gritty about social commerce and creator commerce, how this fits into the brand strategy. But also we have a lot of creators joining us because they, are wanting to understand how can they make the affiliate income work for them as social and creator commerce continues to grow. So super excited to turn the conversation over to you, Carol, to lead the charge and talk with Chris and Susie.
All right, to start things off, Chris, what's the word on the street? When is Prime Day going to be? What's the gossip?
Does he know? So we
Chris
don't know
knows
officially.
everything.
we don't know officially. We think it's going to be the week of June 23rd. And Amazon always holds back. I think actually we were talking about it today. Last year they announced it a little bit early and then sales dropped for like 3 to 4 weeks before because everyone said, I'll just buy it on Prime Day. So I think they're holding back.
All right, go on the predictive markets websites. Go bet on when Prime Day is going to be. So you and I have talked about this a lot. Why is it important to take part in Prime Day? Is it just like a one-day thing, or do you see that actually impacts your business for the rest of the year?
Yeah, so Prime Days, big sales days are bigger in other categories than CPG. You make all your money in electronics or home goods on those days. But in CPG, it's a rare chance to get a bunch of traffic that otherwise wouldn't shop. And so you get a ton of exposure to net new people, and you get a chance for them to try your brand, get them on promo, and then hopefully they turn into repeat buyers. So we think it's a really important part of the year on Amazon.
So basically digital demo, almost like driving trial.
Yeah.
And you've explained to me that like if you can be that top brand in your category, it is like vital to the success going forward.
Yeah, I mean, what you can imagine is that Prime Day is a pretty significant multiple of total traffic on Amazon because Amazon puts a ton of media to pushing people to shop that day. And so what they do is they basically split up the traffic based upon what they think is going to sell. And so if you happen to be a best-selling item in your category, you just get more of that traffic. You get merchandise as recommended product, your badges that say Prime Day deal, just get more clicks and get more eyeballs.
Okay, so start investing now.
Yep.
And so, or
We
2 months
typically,
ago in the past.
I think now is about the right time. We call it lead-in or Amazon calls it lead-in promotions. And so typically you want to ramp up your advertising, get a little bit more traffic. There's certain deal types you want to be careful not to drop your what Amazon calls your reference price, which can mess up some of your deal math. But yeah, making sure you're performing well now will ensure that you have a good spot on Prime Day.
Is there anything else? I mean, I know from talking to you and subscribing to Cartograph's newsletter, which I highly recommend as well, there's a lot of things you have to do. But besides that, are there some other key points of what you should keep in mind and make sure you're locked in before Prime Day?
I think really it's the basics. Make sure you're in stock. Make sure your content is good and fresh and telling the story you want it to be telling. And then be ready and agile on all of those days because things change pretty quickly. Things can go down, prices can change. You might, might want to have some different media. What I'd say is, especially to this audience, a lot of creators and people with audiences built in is a big part of successful Prime Day days is being first. So if you can post early, post a couple days before so people start to think about what they're going to shop, and then post in the morning so you get it actually that same share logic. You actually start to take a lead at 8 in the morning and ride that wave for the rest of the day.
So can I interject? Because I have a question. We have Susie here, which I think is a really unique point of view in that she like is a creator first and foremost and is now getting into CPG and had, from my understanding, last year you had a kick-ass Prime Day with like your first year doing that. Can you talk to us a little bit from that perspective of being a creator and now in the industry from the CPG standpoint?
Totally. I think from the creator side, if we're looking at finding the brands that we want to speak to, that we want to reference, that we want to focus on, it is going to be who is putting the money behind it and who's setting up the brand well. But you can already see that reflected in brands. So if you're a creator, go spend time on Amazon as a consumer. See who they're recommending now. See who's currently putting money behind their advertising now, because the people that have an Amazon strategy today will be the ones maximizing their Amazon strategy over the Prime Day 4 days or however long they're going to run the sale this year. So keeping that in mind as a creator first, you can do a lot of research right now. You can set yourself up for long-term success before this even happens. And as a creator, you can message some of the brands. I know some of them aren't like brands that maybe have a response team. But if there are brands that are known, especially in the CPG space, if there are beauty brands, if there are food brands that you see representing themselves well in retail and they have a strong presence on Amazon, there's a good chance that those accounts are being watched and managed. Sending them a message early and establishing a relationship with the brand through whatever affiliate program they have, yes, but Amazon specifically, you can start learning what their plans are for Prime Day in advance, and you can start to build a relationship to support those brands on Prime Day, and it can be really reciprocal. So from the creator side, anytime I'm pushing anything for any specific holiday, we do a lot of seasonal stuff. So Prime Day fits in very well with our brand because we're in the barbecue space. A lot of people are thinking about Father's Day. A lot of people are thinking about the 4th of July. A lot of people are thinking about Labor Day, these holidays throughout the summer. So we position ourselves mindfully to promote things that are in line with our brand. So I already know the brands in my space that are doing well. And then like Chris said, being first, I think is really valuable. So that's kind of my perspective from the creator side. You do have to do a bit of research in advance, and being the first means being prepared, and being prepared means doing your research. And now's a great time to do that.
I'd add to a little tip I've done in the past is if you search some of the brands you want to partner with on like a PR newswire or a business wire, often there's a PR contact at the bottom, and then you can reach out directly to that firm, even if the brand doesn't respond. Oftentimes their PR agency is also handling their affiliate marketing, and you can reach out to them. They may be able to help you. Also, I bet you ChatGPT or Claude can also help you find some contacts right now. There are definitely also some agencies that specialize in affiliate marketing. So if you have a relationship with those agencies, like Dream Day is one I think I know that does a lot of, reach out to them and say like, what Prime Day deals are you doing? I in the past have just gotten a sheet with exactly what all their clients are doing. Here's the codes. Here's what you need to know. Here's what you'll get back. Everything like that.
Because as a brand now, I already know my Prime Day promotions. For whenever they decide to launch it, we're a month plus out. I have my Prime Day plan set. So if a creator that was focused on Amazon as an affiliate did reach out to me, I could say, here's what we're doing and here's some creative assets. So I could help set them up for success to promote my brand on Amazon. And I'm small potatoes. So I guarantee you that larger brands with a more established Amazon presence already have their Prime Day plans built out as well. And it can be very beneficial to have creators supporting brands, and brands know the value of it. It's just sometimes making those connection points, and you have to take a little bit of ownership of that as a creator. You got to get a little scrappy. Yeah, email the PR contacts, email the affiliates, go to their websites, do some research, do some digging, and do your best to optimize with brands that you already use, you know your audience loves, and that likely already has a Prime Day plan in place.
Yeah, and Amazon will probably pay you less. Some people will direct people to their Amazon store and as a creator and add products to it. If you work directly with the brands, you'll probably get paid more than the kickback that Amazon will give you.
Yeah, as a brand, I participate in the Creator Connections campaigns, which allows me to set a higher commission and bring on creators at a higher commission rate than they would be able to get if they were just linking generically. So building those brand relationships can be really valuable.
All right. Well, I think Abby, unless you think there's anything pre-Prime Day we should hit, I mean, I have a million more questions, I'll be honest. And hopefully both you, Susie, and Chris are open to like LinkedIn DMs or questions if people have follow-up. But we probably should move on to Prime Day itself. I think we've kind of tiptoed around this a bit. So what types of content or messaging have you two seen perform really well on Prime Day? Susie, you were talking about content. It sounds like you need those visuals to go with, a simple post. It can't just be about here's a code or here's a link.
We do a lot of off-site promotion for Prime Day. So like Chris said, everything to get ready for Prime Day, the badges, the deals, the discounts, making sure that your ad spend is placing you in a good position and your organic keyword rankings are placing you in a good position on Amazon are very important. But we do independently a lot of off-site promotions. We will post about Amazon Prime Day on our social media. We will send out a newsletter posting about our Amazon deals. We'll be featuring those deals specifically with a link directly to our store. So for my D2C side, I only run a promotion twice a year. I run Memorial Day and I run Black Friday. And my audience knows this. They kind of count on it. Prime Day is that little bit of a wild card where they're going to get a deal, but we don't know when it's going to be. We don't know exactly what the deals are going to be. And so that gives me a lot of opportunity to speak to my audience and say, hey, have you had an eye on this product because it's on sale today on Amazon on Prime Day? And I think those work really well because it doesn't feel like a coordinated campaign. It feels a little bit more organic. It feels more authentic. It feels off the cuff and in the moment. And people are a little bit more impulsive on Prime Day. They make these decisions very quickly. And so being there in their feed, in their inbox, speaking to them directly as a brand on Amazon has worked really well for us.
Chris, what have you seen convert well on Prime Day, be it, content and messaging or also, linking? What's worked well for you and your brands?
Yeah, I mean, we focus mostly of the on-site promo, but we always work with our brands and tell them that the off Amazon pushes to Amazon, like Susie, you're talking about, is super important to just kind of get the momentum going. And so what we say is, speak in your brand voice the way you speak to your audience, and tell them that you've got the Prime Day promos running they generally will be excited about that because they know that these tend to be good discounts. Do it at the start of the day, but don't be shy in reminding, because like a lot of Prime Day shopping behavior tends to be shop, add to cart, don't check out, and wait a couple days and kind of figure out, all right, where am I going to spend my money? And so having pings even multiple times a day or just multiple times throughout the week can help a lot too.
Is there a limit though, Susie, that creators should say, like, I'm only going to do X number of deals or promotions? I will admit sometimes during Prime Day, I see like 100 accounts all sharing the same thing. And by the end, I'm like, oh God, I don't want to see this one more time. Or like, I follow an influencer and they have like 100 deals. I'm like, I'm not going to click through all this. I could be in the minority. How do you kind of figure out what's the sweet spot on the creator side of what to share and how much to share?
I think the biggest thing is knowing your brand and what are you known for. If you're known for recommending products and finding deals, people will expect you to show up with a catalog on Prime Day. They want you to be the curator. They want you to do the legwork and they want you to, put in the effort up front so that all they have to do is click a button and add to cart. If that's not something you're known for and you show up out of the blue with, hey, I'm a deal blog creator online now and I have 100 stories, people are going to exit. I think 90% of it is the relationship that you have with your audience, and 10% is making sure that you fulfill on that part of the promise. So that's the actual showing up and the actual posting. So if it's only 3 deals, but they are the best deals that serve your audience, you may convert at a higher rate than somebody who posts 100 deals that aren't relevant and that aren't helpful and that aren't the best deals in the category and don't serve anybody. Because I guarantee you, Carol, if 100 of those stories were pertinent to you and relevant and served you, you would watch every single one. Because if it's banger after banger, you're not leaving.
Husband,
you're sticking around.
Trouble is the problem.
So yeah, I think most of it is knowing your audience. As a creator, that's our number one job. That's our most important job, is the relationship we have with our audience. That's how we build our brand trust and our brand name and our loyalty. And if you fold and sell that out for 4 days of Prime Day potential affiliate income, people will remember. But if you serve them during those 4 days, they'll remember that too. So I don't think it's a set number. I think it really is based on you and your brand and your relationship with your audience.
Chris, when you look at this from your side, do you see certain platforms convert better to Prime Day sales? And I guess, Susie, have you seen that anecdotally that from your brand side that certain platforms convert better? Chris, maybe we can kick it off with you.
Sure. Yeah, I don't know if any platform, I'd probably echo what Susie said, is that like knowing your affinity group and where they play and where they engage with your content. One way to think about it, we think about it on Amazon, is you have different layers of affinity group. You have people shopping your brand, super high affinity. You have people shopping your category, like middle affinity. And then you have people like shopping adjacent categories, shopping competition, a little bit lower affinity. And so a mindset you can take is that your affinity bubble, so to speak, grows a bit on Prime Day because everyone's open to shopping new stuff because there's deals. They'll try some new things. They'll jump brands and so forth. And so I think with that mindset is like, think of across all the different types of posts and platforms, like there are brands that are like really big on Pinterest, which you don't hear about as much amongst like the social platforms. But take what you do and then expand it a little bit, but really be thoughtful about who your audience is and where they are.
Okay, you piqued my interest. What's a random, like, people who buy this also buy this type of thing that would, like, I know that's a little off topic, but I gotta know.
Ooh, that's yeah, I mean, like, I think you can kind of think of it as like occasion based. You know, if you have shoppers who are doing certain things in the summertime, I mean, sometimes you think about like on the go athletes or outdoor athletes. Like if they're shopping this kind of on the go snack, they might also want some kind of like endurance supplement or something like that. And so just thinking about, I think the lens we try to take is not just product compliments, which can work, but actually just like thinking of like audience personas of who would construct a basket that seems relevant to our product.
So that can expand out to creators too, I assume.
Yeah, I think so.
That's one of my favorite things to look at as a creator is when you go through the affiliate program. On the affiliate side, you can actually see my audience bought this, but they also buy this. And it's always fun to see the random things that people add to cart in addition to the product that you recommended. They might go there for a pair of barbecue gloves and also, need a new speaker or a laxative or like just legitimately the most random,
maybe if they're big
barbecue
shoppers.
And I'm like, this is an interesting affinity circle. Now that's how I'll be thinking of it, is what's my affinity sphere and how does it relate to these items? It's always a little bit funny.
All right, if we see you posting Miralax, Susie, we're gonna know.
You'll know. Honestly, my audience would probably think that was hilarious.
You gotta be honest to the audience if that's what they're doing.
Well, again, could keep chatting about Prime Day itself, but and Abby, please, I don't mean to
Listen,
be.
I'm here learning. I'm learning along with you. The affinity circle. My mind is going a million places.
All right, great.
Continue.
Well, jumping to after Prime Day. So you wrap up Prime Day. How do you decide it's a success, both as a brand or a creator? Susie, what's your take on that?
On the brand side for me, because I'm a small founder, I don't have investors. We talked about this earlier, Carol. I don't have a huge marketing budget that I can just blow on Amazon to drive trial. My biggest priority is profitability. So I will always tie my discounts into my margins, into my Amazon fees, into my ad spend and my management fees. My goal on Prime Day is to walk away profitable. For a lot of scaling brands, that's not their priority. Their priority is to get product in customers' hands because they have the budget to treat Prime Day essentially as a marketing expense. They're less concerned about making money on Prime Day and more concerned about getting the product into new consumers' houses and to get them familiar with the product, utilizing the product, and then hopefully becoming return customers. So that's my priority. It's different for every brand, but my priority is profitability. I don't even need it to be a lot. I don't need it to be huge, but I need to drive some profitability for it to be considered a success for me as a brand. On the creator side, I usually will have kind of target budgets for what I want to generate in terms of affiliate revenue. And that's my benchmark, is how much revenue are we generating. And then I always go back after and look at the highest converting products, because then I get to ask the questions about my audience. This obviously really resonated. What was it? Was it the price point? Was it the product type? Was it the use case? And doing that kind of post-mortem analysis lets me learn more about my audience. Let me learn more about my readers, about my social followers, my email subscribers. And that data is incredibly valuable to me. So driving the sales and conversions is great because of the affiliate revenue, but it also gives me a lot of key insights into my audience base, which is valuable.
Chris, how about you? What should a brand do when evaluating if Prime Day was a success and kind of what that means from their creator partnerships?
Yeah. First off, Susie, I loved what you said about what sells on Prime Day might be different than what sells every day. And basically it's like what a first exposure, lower affinity audience might buy versus your everyday audience could be different. So I think there's some really cool insights there. I think to measure success on Prime Day, I think a big part is, like what Susie said, being really clear on what your goals were for the event. Like, what kind of volume did I want? What kind of spend did I want to spend going into it? What is my all-in profitability? I think what you can look at and visualize too is not only total sales, but how many of these shoppers were new to brand versus repeat consumers. And then you can kind of make assumptions on of the new consumers, how many on average will repeat, and then how much has my rank improved during the day, which you'll then be able to ride for a few weeks afterwards. And so in addition to that, you also will want to look at the traffic that went to your pages that didn't convert, because what you can do is then send them promos or send them retargeting ads, and that will then convert at a certain percentage point. So you can build a spreadsheet, put all of those things together, and that kind of lets you say, okay, what was my total take for Prime Day?
Is there a deep dive on specific creators and like how that should impact your creator planning for the rest of the year that you should do as well?
Yeah, I think if you, I mean, you have to look at all of your different traffic sources and see which ones perform the best, see which kind of pieces of content and types of audiences work the best with your brand, and then adjust. You know, invest more in those that worked, and maybe adjust and change up the ones that worked less.
You know, and I forgot to ask this question right from the start, I guess. Susie, Chris, what do you think? Do you have to take part in Prime Day, or can you also run? I see a lot of brands running promotions on their own site, completely separate from Amazon. Like, I know we're here to talk about Prime Day, but I also want to make sure that not every brand feels like they have to do it if it's not the right fit for them.
I mean, as a small brand, I don't think you need to be on Amazon at all necessarily. I think building out your direct to consumer sales portfolio first and really starting, like if you're brand new and just starting out, building out your Shopify store first, starting to establish a relationship with your audience there first and build your brand there. I think that's a great way to start because Amazon's expensive. Amazon fees are expensive. Amazon advertising is expensive. And typically you're not able to justify the margins of those expense if you're a smaller brand just starting out. So you can still piggyback off of the hype of Amazon Prime Day and of people being in a buying mood and sending emails and posting on social and kind of playing the countercultural approach to Prime Day. Like you said, Carol, sometimes you get fatigued of buy this, buy this, buy this, buy this. If you're a small independent brand starting out that's not on Amazon, you could say, hey, have you considered shopping small? Have you considered supporting small creators? Have you considered buying direct to consumer and helping a smaller brand grow? And I think that type of counterculture advertising carries a lot of weight right now in the ecosystem and in the marketplace. And eventually, if you grow, you may need to be on Amazon, but also you may not. I know a lot of brands that opt out entirely, both for moral reasons and personal reasons and business reasons. So it is still a good time because Amazon's putting so much hype behind and so much paid money behind this mindset of it's time to buy. Positioning yourself as a counterculture brand, I think, is not just possible, but kind of a smart move if you're just starting out.
Yeah, I'd say you don't have to, and you want to make sure you can take advantage of it in its entirety. So if you don't have the inventory position to stay in stock, or you're going to run out in a few weeks or a month, it doesn't really make sense to invest a lot because Amazon is such a momentum investment. And then if you just simply don't have the budget, you're not going to lose out just because of it. You need to work on building your brand. And like Susie said, focus on, you know, the core and your core business. There's also a lot of different levels of participating in Prime Day. You know, you can spend on expensive deals that cost you 30% per unit and have big deal merchandising fees. And then you can do things like smaller promos. You know, we go as light as 10%. Sometimes you might not be in the official Prime Day merchandising, but you'll still get some of that lift. And we find that those small promos are usually a nice middle ground if you're not sure that Prime Day is the right thing for you. That you can do something lower cost and you still have bigger days than you typically would have.
So it sounds like, you know, when we're discussing after Prime Day, it's not just that you need to be prepared for Prime Day, you need to be prepared that you have the inventory and are able to, you know, Prime Day doesn't end. It's not like you just wrap up
Yeah.
the day of.
Totally. It's like having I think, Abby, I'm getting an echo on your. Okay. It's like having a party. You got to send your thank you notes afterwards and clean up and everything. But yeah, after Prime Day, we typically do lead out promotions, which is basically capitalizing on shopping FOMO. Was, oh man, I love this thing, I forgot to buy it, or this was in my cart, I didn't check out in time. Still having something there that will get them to check out. And you can even extend those a week afterwards. You can even do posts about it. Hey, did you miss the deals? You know, people are on vacation or whatever. we still have a chance to get this at some dollars off. And then, of course, like I talked about earlier, take that audience of all the new shoppers, all the new buyers, all the new non-converting buyers. We like to treat them as a separate audience. This is like the new Prime Day people, and treat that cohort as a like, welcome to the brand. We're excited to have you. This is probably your first exposure. We're going to tell you a little bit more about it, and find ways to re-engage with them. See if they'll go back to your pages. See if they'll convert. See if they'll they'll buy on specific deals.
Guys, I'm trying to talk, but I hear the echo's bad. Is it bad as I'm speaking? No? Okay, we're great. I'm so sorry to cut this conversation short, but we are already out of time because 30 minutes goes so quickly, and we're learning our lesson that with these webinars, we need to make them a little bit longer because there's so much to talk about, and we have incredible experts that can sit and talk about this all day, and I think make it interesting. So thank you so much, Chris and Carol and Susie, for chatting with us today. Chris, where can everybody get in touch with you?
You can find us at either gocartograph.com or LinkedIn. I post a lot on LinkedIn about Amazon and CPG. You can reach out to me there or just look up Cartograph on LinkedIn too.
Half the emails I send Chris, by the way, start with, this is a really dumb question, but can you explain this? And also, if you ever want the gossip on Amazon, I love it. I'm like, is this rumor true? And he's like, well, the answer is always yes, but no.
Your questions aren't that dumb, Carol. They're pretty smart.
Carol, where can everybody get in touch with you?
LinkedIn is great, or I'm Carol at carolortenberg.com. Either way, I love to chat with brands or creators and just geek out over CPG.
And Susie, where can everybody
LinkedIn for brand updates. If you're very into barbecue and grilling, Hey Grill Hey across social.
And stay tuned for some Prime Day discounts, it sounds like.
Stay tuned for some Prime Day discounts. Yeah, we have a top selling product that we were running some pretty fun deals on this year.
Ooh.
And I can
heard
vouch.
it here first.
Yeah, heard it here first. Their products are amazing. Love the Bulloch family, everything they do. As we were talking before offline, I was like, I'm Susie's #1 fangirl. I will take that spot. But again, thank you, everybody. And here at Tastemaker, like I said, our goal is to really be creating the networking and education around this as the creator economy continues to grow, especially with social commerce and creator commerce. This is kind of the way of the future and the way of retail from our end. And so we're just excited to be a part of it and offer these resources so you can get more information on our website at tastemakerconference.com. And we'll see you all soon.
Bye.